What's up, Taiwan? I'm Yvonne with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Super Typhoon Mawar has hit the U.S. territory of Guam, knocking down trees and cutting power for most of the island. The typhoon made landfall on the northern tip of the Pacific Island on Wednesday night as a Category 4 storm. Guam, which has a population of 170,000, is prone to typhoons, but Mawar could be the most powerful one to hit the island since 2002. Storm winds reportedly reached speeds of 230 kilometers an hour, overturning cars and scattering debris. No injuries or deaths have been reported so far. The typhoon is now moving westward toward Taiwan and the Philippines. A state-sponsored Chinese hacking group is spying on a wide range of critical U.S. infrastructure. That's according to American tech firm Microsoft. Microsoft said with moderate confidence that Chinese group Volt Typhoon was seeking information that could disrupt communication between the U.S. and Asia during a future crisis. It added that hackers had targeted Guam, which is home to strategically important U.S. military bases. In the event of a Chinese attack of Taiwan, Guam would likely play a key role in the U.S. response if Washington chose to intervene. A U.S. Congressional committee has approved a new report that sets out how Washington could help deter a Chinese invasion of Taiwan. The report is by the Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party. The committee, which was set up earlier this year, doesn't write laws, but it can make policy recommendations. The report lists 10 key areas where Congress should act to support Taiwan. These include increasing the number of U.S. long-range missiles and unmanned vehicles in the Indo-Pacific region. It also suggested better combined military training between the U.S. and Taiwan. Taiwan is facing a shortage of workers to look after its growing elderly population. The country now hopes to address this problem by bringing in more migrant workers. But Taiwan may no longer be the attractive options for overseas laborers that it once was, Pingtung reports.
Granny Wong moved to a long-term care facility after retiring as an elementary school teacher. She spends her free time at the facility teaching Mandarin and Taiwanese Hokkien to her caregiver and playing board games with the staff. It's a lifestyle that many elderly people may not be able to enjoy for much longer. There's an acute shortage of caregivers in Taiwan, even as the population is aging rapidly. Now the Labor Ministry says it's planning to recruit 14,000 migrant caregivers to fill the shortage.
我是觉得可以缓解到我们那个现场上经营长照机构者的一个人力，目前是可以治标啦。
Families in long-term care facilities in Taiwan have long hired migrant caregivers to take care of older people. These workers are not entitled to Taiwan's minimum wage and are often given little time off. In the past, Taiwan was still an attractive enough destination for overseas work that migrants often overlooked these concerns. But that might not be the case anymore.
环境跟福利啊，还有薪水是否诱惑啊，会成为他愿不愿意留在机构继续奋斗的主要原因。
Some scholars are suggesting another route that could sidestep the lower wages and job insecurity migrant caregivers face.
可以开放外国的护理系毕业的劳工进到台湾来从事护理助理的工作，那相信对台湾的照护品质会更好。
There are some 700,000 migrant workers in Taiwan. They are essential to the country's economy. And many agree that bringing in more of these workers would only help Taiwan's growing population of older people, like Granny Wong. But they argue that better pay and working conditions will make the government's plan a win for both sides. Eason Chen and Bing Wong for TaiwanPlus.
A new study in Taiwan finds that men just don't know enough about what it takes to have a baby. 1 in 7 couples in Taiwan experience infertility, and knowledge is the first step to overcoming that problem. Eric Tsai has more.
It generally takes 2 people to make a baby, but a new study in Taiwan has found that men are behind women when it comes to understanding problems with fertility. The World Health Organization classifies infertility as a reproductive disease. It's defined as an inability to conceive after 12 months of unprotected sex. The report by the Taiwanese Society for Reproductive Medicine says the average age for a couple's first checkup for infertility is 36 years old. But reproductive capabilities in both men and women dramatically decrease after the age of 30. One expert discusses what can happen after men reach 40.
它发生染色体异常的比例就会开始增加，不但它的怀孕率会降低，那就算顺利受孕之后，它发生胎儿流产的风险会开始增加。
And just as men contribute half their offspring's makeup, other studies have shown that men are the primary or the contributing factor to about half of global infertility. What can you do if you're past 30 and want a baby? In vitro fertilization, or IVF, may be the solution. Taiwan currently offers subsidies for married couples. In 2021, it passed a law that any infertile couples under the age of 45 may apply for subsidies up to about $3,200 and nearly $2,000 for subsequent applications.
大概已经诞生了10800多个宝宝，哈，那这个是我们大概透过扩大人工生殖补助的一个成果。
All this comes while Taiwan has one of the lowest birth rates in the world and a shrinking population, which threatens to lead to labor shortages and other social problems. But the government hopes that with a little bit of education, a more fruitful future is not beyond conception. Devin Tai and Eric Tai for TaiwanPlus.
The cabinet has announced a 7-year, $1.3 billion plan to make Taiwan's roads safer. The money will go to improving roads and signals, as well as traffic safety courses in schools. Officials hope to cut fatal accidents by 5% this year after Taiwan's poor road safety made international headlines. In December, CNN described Taiwan as a living hell for pedestrians. And this week, Japanese media also highlighted Taiwan's deadly roads, noting that traffic deaths each year in Taiwan were more than 6 times higher than in Japan. After months of slow growth, Taiwan's economy should rebound by the end of the year. That's what the governor of the central bank has told lawmakers.
你的第三季就可能反弹了。
可能第三季会到第三季，最好能够第三季结束啊，第四季反弹。
Taiwan's economy depends on selling products, mostly electronics and machines, to other countries. But many places are not buying as much because of economic uncertainty and rising prices. That has caused Taiwan's economy to slow down. However, Yang hopes those problems will ease between July and September. He expects Taiwan's economy will start growing faster in the final months of the year. Several contractors in southern Taiwan have lost large sums of money in a new scam. The scammers pretended to be from a local university with urgent projects. But as John Van Trieste reports, the firms they offered to hire for the job ended up paying instead.
This contractor has just witnessed a vanishing act. He recently took a call from someone claiming to be from the National Pingtung University. They were asking for help with an urgent project and offered a contract for the following day. But because it was so rushed, they said, it meant there wasn't yet time to sort out the details, and the contractor would have to pay hefty administrative fees in advance. But the caller wasn't from a university at all, and the whole thing was a scam. As soon as the supposed administration payment had cleared, the caller disappeared. Several contracting companies fell for the trick. Some were asked to help with building projects, others to supply things like trash cans. But all suffered heavy losses, with one victim paying close to $10,000.
花劳力、花时间下去工作，我们也不是说一天可以赚多少钱的人这样，所以对我们来讲很伤啊。我只是想要希望连学校也要知道，因为人家是用你们名义了，甚至这个人的名字都一模一样。
The university has warned about the scam in the hope that there won't be any more victims.
本校已经去派出所备案了。同时也将这个诈骗的相关讯息po在我们学校的首页，也告知我们学校所有厂商说有这个诈骗的事件。
It's unclear whether the existing victims will ever see their money again. Scams of all sorts are big business in Taiwan. In the last quarter of 2022, fake investments netted $40 million. Online romance scams accumulated millions last year too. And false offers of employment abroad have seen hundreds of Taiwanese citizens trafficked to Southeast Asia over the past year, which has made regular headlines. While this latest scam has been uncovered and steps are being taken to address it, Taiwanese scammers continue to find new victims and new ways to go after their money. John Su and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Policymakers are discussing amendments to Taiwan's Wildlife Conservation Act. They are setting their sights on the country's laws on trapping. Leslie Liao explains.
A Formosan black bear, a rare and protected species often seen as a symbol of Taiwan, is caught in a trap. The bear's wounds are serious enough that authorities deem it necessary to amputate part of its paw. Unfortunately, this is a fairly common occurrence in Taiwan's rural and mountainous regions. So much so that lawmakers are now questioning how humane trapping practices are in Taiwan.
当这样的画面，不论在国内的媒体或者国际的社会大众看到之后，我相信对台湾的国际动物保育的这样的形象是一个很大的伤害。
The legislature is reviewing the Wildlife Conservation Act, and there are calls to ban both foothold and metal snare traps. Agriculture Minister Chen Jizong agrees that foothold traps can go, but he says getting rid of snares is a little more complicated. Chen says snare traps are important to farmers, and they're also important for preserving the hunting culture of Taiwan's indigenous groups. However, it's never good when a protected animal gets caught in one, especially when it leads to permanent injury or worse. It's now up to Taiwan's policymakers and public to reach a decision that's best not only for humans, but also for the animals. Leon Lin and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus.
Ecologists say loggers in southern Taiwan have felled endangered trees. The loggers clear-cut part of one of the world's highest beech tree forests in Taitung County on the site they leased from the government. And the Taiwan Ecological Society says they felled 3 species of endangered tree. In all, the loggers removed 13 hectares of forest. One local councillor is calling for them to be fined. Environmental groups say this type of destruction could harm Taiwan's biodiversity.
以全球的观点，这个地区的独特性、多样性跟全面性、可陡科的这样的森林，在全球来讲，它是一个非常重要的生态地位。
The effects of temperatures rising by a few degrees may not seem like a huge change for us, but for many animals, even a slight change in temperature can be significant. Harrell Hughes explains.
Deforestation and natural biodiversity have a clear cause and effect relationship. Just ask the bearing beetle. This beetle is a tiny but important part of the ecosystem in Taiwan's forests. It breaks down the bodies of small vertebrates and makes them into corpse balls, burying them in the soil. These then become nutrition for the rest of the forest.
它可以把一些肢体当中的元素、有机的养分都会带入到比较深层的土壤，让元素再次回到就是土壤的生态系当中。
But recently, a research team has found a clear link between deforestation and weakening soil nutrients in the forests of Taiwan, which has a lot to do with the bearing beetle. These beetles prefer temperatures of around 16 degrees Celsius. As trees are cut down and the forest gets warmer, these beetles begin to lose out on food to other insects. And less food that's broken down by the bearing beetle means fewer nutrients for the soil.
在高海拔的地方，森林砍伐以后会造成比较明显的日温差的增加，所以这个地方是我们优先需要保护的。
The relationship between humans and nature remains a fragile one, and even upsetting the habits of something as tiny as these little beetles can have huge knock-on effects. As studies continue to reveal the far-reaching impact humans have on the world, researchers say that understanding the natural balance is essential to preserving Taiwan's ecosystem and biodiversity. James Lin and Harrell Hughes for TaiwanPlus.
Huge flocks of migratory seabirds are stuck in southeastern Taiwan. Common terns spend their winter in Taiwan and head north for the summer around this time of year. But stormy weather has forced thousands of the birds to delay their departure for now. Bird watchers have themselves flocked to catch a last glimpse of the birds before they leave. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Finally, today we leave you with images of a new kind of seasonal employee sheep providing eco-friendly lawn maintenance in New York. I'm Yvonne Young. Take care and see you next time.